Around 3100 BC, a king named Narmer shone on a famous ceremonial palette wearing first the white crown of Upper Egypt, then the red crown of Lower Egypt, unified two separate kingdoms into a single state along the Nile Valley. What he created would endure, in various forms, for over 3,000 years, the longest-lasting civilization in human history. By comparison, the Roman Empire lasted roughly 500 years, the British Empire perhaps 400. Egypt's pharaonic civilization lasted longer than the entire span of recorded history before its founding. Understanding why requires understanding the Nile. The Nile was Egypt's gift and its engine. Every year, predictably, the river flooded, depositing rich black silt across the desert valley floor. Ancient Egyptians called their land Kemet, the Black Land, distinguishing it from Deshret, the red land of the surrounding desert. This annual flood created soil so fertile that Egypt could feed itself and export grain across the ancient world. The desert on either side provided natural protection from invasion. Egypt's geography made it one of the most defensible positions in the ancient world. While other civilizations fought for survival, Egypt could invest its surplus in monumental architecture, elaborate religious systems, and bureaucratic administration. The pyramids remain the most astonishing physical achievement of the ancient world. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built for Pharaoh Khufu around 2560 BC, originally stood 146 meters tall, the tallest human-made structure in the world for nearly 4,000 years. It contains approximately 2.3 million stone blocks averaging 2.5 tons each. Recent archaeological evidence has fundamentally revised how we think about its construction, not by slaves, as classical sources claimed, but by skilled workers who received wages in bread and beer, lived in purpose-built villages with medical care, and were organized into named work gangs who left graffiti identifying themselves with pride. They were Egypt's workers, building monuments for a civilization they believed in. Egyptian religion was the organizing principle of the entire civilization. The pharaoh was not merely a king but a living god, an incarnation of Horus in life and Osiris in death, whose primary function was maintaining Ma'at, the cosmic order that kept chaos at bay. This religious framework justified everything: the massive labor mobilized for pyramid construction, the elaborate burial rituals, the vast temple complexes, the priesthood that administered perhaps a third of Egypt's economy. Mummification preserved the body for the afterlife because Egyptians believed the soul required a physical home for eternity. The Book of the Dead provided spells to navigate the treacherous journey through the underworld to the eternal paradise of the Field of Reeds. Egypt's culture was remarkably consistent across 3 millennia, yet it did collapse and recover multiple times. 3 intermediate periods, eras of division, foreign rule, and political fragmentation, interrupted the Old, Middle, and New Kingdoms. Egypt was conquered by the Hyksos, Nubians, Assyrians, Persians, and eventually Greeks under Alexander the Great in 332 BC. The dynasty that followed Alexander, the Ptolemies, was Greek-speaking and culturally hybrid, though they adopted pharaonic titles and worshipped Egyptian gods. The most famous Ptolemy was a woman, Cleopatra VII, who died in 30 BC, was the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom and, remarkably, the first member of her dynasty to learn Egyptian after nearly 300 years of Greek-speaking rule. Egypt's legacy runs through the foundations of Western civilization in ways both obvious and hidden. The concept of a centralized state administration, standardized weights and measures, systematic taxation, and professional bureaucracy were all refined in Egypt long before Greece or Rome. Egyptian mathematics and medicine influenced Greek scholars who in turn influenced the rest of Western thought. The monotheism introduced briefly by Pharaoh Akhenaten around 1350 BC may have influenced the development of Israelite religion. The very word alchemy derives from al-Chem, the Arabic name for Egypt, the Black Land. 3,000 years of civilization didn't disappear, it transformed into everything that came after.